Peace be with you. Friends, in honor of the beginning of the new year that we have coming on 2026, I'm going to be beginning a new series, Hammer's History. So this is because history is one of my favorite subjects. It's now been 1990 years since Jesus' death, and it's a lot of history. It's a lot of stuff going on between 33 AD and now. So people really, a lot of times when you talk to people, it almost seems like nothing really happened between 33 AD and 1523 with Martin Luther. So we're trying to learn more about it, and we're going to be learning with you. So if you have a story that you'd like to share, and you can cite your sources, you can reach out to me, and I got an email, or you can go to my Discord and present it, and we can talk about it. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and roll with our first story. So I'm going to be going here with DJ M3. Hey, welcome.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Awesome. So today I'm going to discuss a 20th century saint. Obviously not exactly before the 1500s, but I like this one. Are you ready for it?
I'm about as ready as I can be.
I'm sure you're on the edge of your seat. So This person lived every day to serve the unwanted, the unloved, and the uncared for. I'm going to intentionally refer to them as they, them, their, because I wanted you to guess at the end who you think it is.
Okay.
I want to quiz your knowledge of history.
Sounds good.
They grew up attending a Jesuit parish, and they became a missionary when they were an adult. Throughout their missionary work, they spent 20 years as a teacher, eventually becoming a principal, and that's a large chunk of their life. But the world may not have known their name if they stopped there. I would like to give a shout out to everyone who is described as being well organized. In my research, I learned that was a trait that officially brought this person sainthood. Being well organized and hardworking. What do you think about that?
Pretty rad.
Yeah. As someone who's told that I am well organized and hardworking, I'm like, hey, it's an in for the sainthood. Our story continues as this person left their missionary community to begin a new religious community. They stated they were prompted to begin based on Jesus' desire for them to help with the neglected of the poor. They started this community as the only member, without headquarters, without a location, without any money, without no sponsorship, without nothing. Just walked out one day and said, this is what I'm going to do. Well, obviously, had to get permission to start a new religious community, but then walked out and said, this is what I'm going to do. So this person literally went to the slums where the sick and destitute were and provided them with comfort, aid, and food. Sometimes this was cleaning their wounds, or sometimes this was sitting with contagious or terminal patients in their final days. Literally, we're talking hands-on with the people that no one else would help.
Right.
So through this person's daily hands-on effort, the religious community grew to every inhabited continent. I was unable to find out if Antarctica has a community there, but I'm pretty sure they don't. So that's why I wanted to make sure I emphasize that it's on inhabited continents.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So a lot of people may not know that in countries where they don't have universal health care, or countries where they don't have any medical insurance, you have to pay out of pocket, or your family has to take care of you in your age or terminally illness. So literally people will go to the gutters because if the family is not there, they have nowhere to go.
Right. No, yeah, absolutely.
So that is something that does exist in this day and age, and it existed since a long time ago. So I want to make sure that I'm very specific on how these people were assisted. So they would go take these people and help them on the streets, or the community, once the ball started rolling, more people joined, more money came in. So they built these things called houses, and the houses were kind of arranged by the type of issue. So, in the 1980s, AIDS was a big fear. And people felt that if someone had AIDS, they couldn't touch them. They were excommunicated from their family. They were shunned from their community. So they would have houses where people with AIDS would go, and they would treat them with dignity in their final days.
Yeah.
So, truncated version is that they devoted themselves, heart and soul, and exclusively to the material and spiritual welfare of all destitute people, the helpless poor, neglected children, the abandoned sick, lepers, and deserving beggars. In short, all those unfortunates who either through their own neglect or through lack of public concern are left to drift through life without hope or help. Do you have any ideas yet?
I think I have one. I have one idea.
Are you going to save it for later?
I'm gonna save it for later because I don't want to make myself look like a goober. But I think I may know who it is. Maybe.
Okay.
Could you tell me a little bit about this person's faith?
So they are Catholic, but one thing that was, they became a sister and then they became a mother. Wait, that kind of gives it away because that's a gender.
Give it away. I know exactly who it is now.
I'm so
they,
sorry.
Them pronouns. They them pronouns didn't save you, DJ M3. Okay, I think I'll make my guess right now. My one guess.
Okay.
It's gonna be Mother Teresa of Calcutta.
Yes, that is correct.
You know what? Because what I was thinking was if you talk to me about how she was going through the dark night of the soul, because she spent like decades in the dark night of the soul.
Yep, that was my last paragraph, so that would definitely have clued you in there at the end.
Now, see, I was worried I was gonna have to delete this whole segment if I couldn't guess it. But that was it.
Well, I was hoping to stump you because I knew your history knowledge was like a long time ago. So I was hoping a modern one would kind of trip you up.
No, that's pretty good. And I know that a lot of people bring her up. A lot of non-Catholics will be like, "Oh, well, look, she wasn't sure about her faith." Like doubt somehow removes you from where we are with Christ. Of course, we doubt is natural to us, right? Because belief is God's work. So even when we go through these times, like St. Teresa of Avila mentioned, right, the dark night of the soul, St. John of the Cross mentioned this as well, where you feel desolate, you feel alone. These are the times that you need to pray, because really it's not based on our emotionality, how we feel, right? Because if it was really based on emotions, our relationship with Christ, like how, we feel good, I feel good being with him, then the minute something bad happens, we would abandon him, right? Like Job. He lost everything, and instead of turning away from Christ, he just, or not Christ, but God, he said, "Hey, the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." And he stuck with him, because suffering is also part of this. Suffering is part of a relationship. So yeah, sorry, I'm just yapping now, DJ.
It's okay. You're completely spot on. So, and what's surprising is that she felt that way. No one knew. It wasn't until after her death that they found her personal writings. And honestly, I mean, she won the Nobel Peace Prize. She won numerous awards in numerous countries, like highest honors kind of thing. But she still felt so lonely and pained in the darkness from God. But she knew this was her mission. She knew this was what God wanted. And so she continued on for 50 years. 50 years. She did not feel, and she continued on because she knew. That's impressive to me. And that's one of the things where I'm like, wow, well, it's true. Even if I don't have the warm fuzzies, it doesn't change what God wants me to do. It doesn't change what I should do just because I don't have the warm fuzzies, And they did scientific research saying that, song can produce warm fuzzies in you. And I mean, doesn't mean that that's the right path. Anyways, yeah. So, as a little caveat that I want to bring up is that there is some controversy about the houses. Specifically, there was claims that the care was not rendered by medically trained personnel or not aligned with standard medical practice. I couldn't find any evidence that this was done by her herself, just other people in the community. And then also that the houses would serve individuals of any belief, and the caretakers would encourage conversions to Christianity. But some of the people, I mean, you could say that they probably were vulnerable, whether they're, terminally ill, about to die on their deathbed. And the caretakers would try to force baptism upon them, which obviously isn't what you should do.
Right.
So I didn't really do a lot of looking into that, but I wanted to make sure I did bring that up for those that were, harmed or potentially, involved in that kind of thing, because it's not okay to just baptize someone because you want to. They have to want to be baptized, right?
Yes, it's part of it because you're responding to the call of faith. So yes, you do have to cooperate with that. It can't just be a forced a forced thing. But no, yeah, it's important too that when people are going through hard times like this. That's why in like Alcoholics Anonymous, for instance, they tell people to they start inspiring people to look at a higher power. I mean, not even Christianity per se, but that's why a lot of people that are in AA end up converting, is because hey, it gives you hope, right? So when you're in this hopeless situation, it sometimes can even make people be healed. So it's interesting.
Yeah, definitely. So that was my story. You kind of, curtailed me by winning the guessing game.
My bad, dude. Just but was there any other thoughts that you had, DJ? Anything you wanted to add before we close out the segment?
I just wanted to really emphasize that a lot of people don't understand how global infrastructure is varied by country. So literally, these are people that are in like homeless people in America or homeless people in other parts of the world. It's like people like that are the places she went to, in the slums where the housing is temporary, drugs are abundant, that kind of thing. That's where she went every day by herself with no money, no plan. Like, well, she had a plan, but I mean, no money, no infrastructure for her own charity, but just brought it up from the ground up. So I mean, that's very impressive. And she led by example by literally going herself. Like, not like, oh, I have a plan, I want to help people, I'm going to organize. It was, I'm going to do the work as long as she possibly can. I think there are images of her feet, and I don't know, probably not going to post these on this, but if you do Google that, they are very worn by the years of constant walking. Right. So that's the one like tidbit that I learned, was like, wow, like, you wouldn't think to like look at someone's feet, right? But obviously.
Right. Well, I mean, that's why the discolid order, the shoeless orders, right? We're living this mendicant life of poverty, and would walk around like that, and that's pretty cool. No, that's a really cool one, and I haven't really given much of the modern saints that much attention, so thank you for bringing that up. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. Sorry.
Yeah, no, thank you for joining me. No, you're good. But yeah, so like I said, just to close out, if anybody wants to come bring their stories, please go ahead and do. We'll be doing this segment like weekly. So I'll be queuing up some people, and if you're watching for the first time, go ahead, give it a like, comment, subscribe. Even if you're not, if you're already subscribed, you better like and comment. But if you're not subscribed, we do need the support. And thank you so much, and God bless you.